to you. Perfect timing because you're right on time for Jeff Koinange Live. And we're coming to you not just from studio, the Citizen TV studios. We are at the Kenya School of Government as well. And tonight, from Luakabete, Ayub Abdikadir and Mashirima Kapombe are standing by to discuss matters public service, transforming the public service, the milestones, the challenges, and the road ahead. Ayub Abdikadir, karibu sana, JKLive. What can we expect from the town hall?
Thank you, Olive. We are live from the Kenya School of Government, and a panel of 4 will be here with us this evening, including the Cabinet Secretary, Geoffrey Ruku, the Principal Secretary, as well as the Director General of the Kenya School of Government and the CEO of Huduma Kenya Secretariat. We'll be discussing the state of civil service in the country amongst the array of issues that today dot the public service. And in the packed auditorium hall is where Mashirima Kapombe is, sandwiched between Kenyans who are making up the audience, as well as officials from the Ministry of Public Service.
Na bila shaka Ayub, katika miezi michache iliyopita tangu Aprili, wakati ambapo Waziri Geoffrey Ruku alipoteuliwa katika nafasi hiyo, amekuwa akifanya ziara katika maeneo mbalimbali kutathmini utendakazi wa watumishi wa umma. Na kwa kweli kuna mengi aliyogundua, lakini sasa atakuwa anatueleza zile hatua zitakazofuata kuhakikisha kwamba utendakazi wa watumishi wa umma utakuwa unaimarishwa. Hapa tuko nao wa Kenya kutoka tabaka mbalimbali, pia tuko nao maafisa na wafanyikazi wa utumishi wa umma kutoka taasisi ya Kenya School of Government, National Youth Service, Huduma Kenya Secretariat, pamoja na wizara hii ya utumishi wa umma. Kuna mengi ya kuzungumziwa. Maswali unaweza kuyatuma kupitia nambari yetu ya rafa 22422 au kupitia mitandao ya kijamii ukitumia #JKLive. Bila shaka hayo ni ya baadaye. Kwanza turudi studio kwa Olive Barrows ili aweze kutueleza mengi ambayo yameibuka hii leo kwenye taarifa zetu.
All right, as Mashirima has stated there, talk to us, start right now. The hashtag is JKLive. We are discussing transforming the public service. Let's take a look at what else you have to look forward to. Hold your horses. High Court freezes President Ruto's new multi-agency team on corruption.
Senate welcomes information of any evidence of inducement or other impropriety by any senator for appropriate action.
We are clean. Senate Speaker Amason Kingi defends senators against Ruto's extortion claims.
I'm someone who depends on this machine. It has to be programmed, and that programming needs money. I have to buy some batteries to at least get it functional, and with that one also needs money.
The long, agonizing wait. Scores of university students lament delayed help funds.
Any political party, any politician calling for a meeting, just need them to notify the police, and they must ensure that their meeting is peaceful.
No unauthorized rallies. CS Kipchumba Murkomen warns Gachagua and allies against disturbing peace in Nairobi. I'm in the esteemed company of Yula Nzale, our sign language interpreter. President William Ruto's anti-graft crusade was dealt a major blow after the High Court suspended the implementation of the presidential multi-agency team on the war against corruption. This after 4 petitioners, Dr. Benjamin Gikenyi and 3 others, challenged the presidential proclamation, terming it unconstitutional. Stephen Little kicks us off.
5 petitioners, Magare Gikenyi, Eliud Karanja, Philemon Abuga and Dishon Kerote, moved to the High Court seeking the justice system to quash the presidential proclamation made Tuesday. The petitioners, who appeared before Justice Bahati Mwamuye, argued that the formation of the multi-agency team is illegal and amounts to conflict of interest. In the court papers, the petitioners noted that considering the impunged team will be headed by the Executive Office of the the president. The action of the president essentially shields him and his office from public scrutiny by independent officers like EACC. The petitioners termed the actions as selfish and must be nipped in the bud by the Honorable Court. The petitioners told the court that the president overstepped his mandate. The petitioner says the powers quoted by the president to establish the anti-graft squad are, quote, just imaginary, hot air, mirage powers. Article 132(4) says the president may perform any other executive function provided for in the Constitution or in national legislation, except as otherwise provided for in the Constitution, may establish an office in the public service in accordance with the recommendation of the Public Service Commission. According to the court papers, inclusion of the office of the DPP added to layers of constitutional provisions that the president overlooked. Article 157(10) of the Constitution notes that the Director of Public Prosecutions shall not require the consent of any person or authority for commencement of criminal proceedings, and in the exercise of his or her powers or functions shall not be under the discretion or control of any person or authority. The ODPP, under the presidential proclamation, puts it under the chairmanship of the executive office of the president. The case that has now opened a legal confrontation has also questioned the role of the EACC, an independent constitutional office established by Article 79 of the Constitution, which must be carried out in accordance with the Constitution and the law. The multi-agency team now propose to undertake the functions usurping powers of the EACC. In the foregoing, Justice Bahati Mwamuye made his pronouncement that, quote, a conservatory order is hereby issued staying the operation and implementation of the presidential proclamation on the establishment of the multi-agency team on war against corruption, issued under the hand and seal of the president. The petitioners wants the court to suspend the operation of the team in its entirety. The case will come up for mention on 9th of September. Stephen Letos, Citizen TV.
Speaker of the Senate, Amason Kingi, has firmly defended senators against allegations of extortion and bribery made by President William Ruto. Kingi insists that the Senate upholds the highest standards of integrity in overseeing county governments. He further challenged the president to present concrete evidence if money indeed exchanged hands to influence senators' decisions during any impeachment process. Kingi also dismissed statements by ODM leader Raila Odinga, who suggested that county assemblies, rather than the Senate, should oversee county governments. Melita Oletenges with that report.
The raging political storm pitting the executive against the legislature on extortion claims pointed out by the president, and a colossal sum of 150 million shillings said to have exchanged hands in the Senate to save a governor from being impeached in recent days has rattled senators. The Speaker of the Senate, Amason Kingi, in a communique to the upper house, dismissed the president's claims as unfounded.
The Senate has conducted the impeachment proceedings in accordance with the Constitution and the law, and has made its determination on the basis of the evidence and the law. In respect, as in the matters, in this respect, as in the other matters, the Senate welcomes information of any evidence of inducement or other impropriety by any senator for appropriate action in this regard.
Kingi says the statements are pedestrian as they do not narrow in on any senator, adding that the senators hold high integrity standards contrary to the president's allegations.
The leadership of the Senate has also noted that the allegations have not included material particulars, including the specific individual senators against whom the allegations of bribery are made. Senators are called to a very high office of responsibility and accountability, and are required under the Constitution to live up to a very high standard of integrity and accountability.
With the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga insisting that the oversight role of counties should be a prerogative of the county assemblies, Kingi says the argument is neither here nor there.
Article 96(3) is explicit. that the Senate determines the allocation of the national revenue among counties as provided for in Article 217 of the Constitution and exercises oversight over national revenue allocated to the county governments.
Meanwhile, MPs have also opposed the push by former Prime Minister Raila Odinga to have NGCDF funds moved to the counties. Melita Oletenges, Citizen TV.
A section of Kenyans is challenging President William Ruto to walk the talk on the war against graft by ordering the arrest of MPs and senators implicated in corruption, while others insist the crackdown must go beyond Parliament to include all government officials. Here are mixed reactions from a cross-section of Kenyans.
It's not only in the National Assembly, it's everywhere. I think now corruption, it's so sad. It's also a major economic activity in Kenya. It's time for our leaders to be, even for the president, for his executive, for the MPs, for the MCAs. Right now, they must be accountable. See, ati huyu anaiba zaidi, huyu anaiba, no. Kenyans are tired and will not entertain that.
It's something that has been ongoing actually in the Kenyan Parliament, in the Senate, and we as Kenyans, we are worried because it is our taxpayers' money.
Hawesema ati wajumbe wamechukua pesa, wamechukua kutoka wapi? Number 1 mwenye amewapea kamatwe, number 2 na wenye wamekula wakamatwe.
Isikuwe kama ile wakati ulisema mtu akipatikana ameipa ni mambo ni matatu. Hii yenye umesema Raudi, enda kwa Senate. Utuambia kwamba 150 billion seneta fulani ndiye alikuwa anagawia maseneta wenzake. Ili tukuamini naye wewe Raudi.
President hawezi sema uongo. Hata yeye amejionea vitu, mjadala zinapitishwa tu huko kwa bunge, na hata yeye anashangaa kwa nini zinapitishwa bila HS.
Mwenye amepatikana ni yeye ashikwe. Usiwe na huruma kwa kila mtu. Kuwa na huruma ya kupotea pesa ya wananchi.
Sio ni haja ya rais kuja kutueleza mambo ya bunge ambao ni wafisadi. Hao watu wangekuwa sahihi, rais akitueleza wako jela ndani. Kwa rais wetu, angalia huu ufisadi usije ukakumaliza pamoja na walio watamuni wote.
Alisema kuna watu wachache wana ufisadi katika bunge, na ninashangaa kuona watu wanauma, watu wanaongea, watu wameteta. Kama wewe auhusiki, kwa nini unateta? Kama wewe auongani, kwa nini unafikiria uko kati ya wale wachache wanatoa rushwa kati ya mbunge? Hii lazima ikome. Rais amalize ufisadi.
You too can have your say. The hashtag is JKLive. The government has warned Democracy for the Citizens Party leader, Rigathi Gachagua, against holding an unsanctioned Meet the People tour upon his return from the United States, where he has been engaged in meetings for the past 6 weeks. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen and the Inspector General of Police, Douglas Kanja, have stated that any attempt to disrupt peace will not be tolerated. DCP Deputy Party Leader Cleophas Malala claims there are plans to use goons to sabotage their procession and has called on the police to ensure their security. Gatete Njoroge with more.
Hours before DCP party leader Rigathi Gachagua returns to the country from a 6-week trip to the United States, tensions are rising. A potential showdown between his supporters and police appears imminent, with the government warning that unauthorized rallies within the city will not be tolerated.
Any person, any political party, any politician calling for a meeting, just need them to notify the police, and they must ensure that their meeting is peaceful and does not lead to situations of disrupting the peace for others or burning of property or looting.
Mtu yote akivuja sheria bila shaka pia na anashughulikiwa namna hiyo kwa mujibu wa sheria. Kwa hivyo msimamo wetu ni tunatarajia yakifika atakuja tu kama Mkenya mwingine ule, anaingia tu hapa nchini alafu na anaelekea kulingana na mipango yake imepanga.
IG Douglas Kanja has hinted that Rigathi Gachagua may be required to record a statement with police following his remarks in the United States, where he alleged that the government is conducting business with terror groups.
Hakuna mtu yote ambao wako above the law. Kwa hivyo kama kuna sheria yoyote ambayo imefujwa, then statements zinaandikwa zini kweli.
Despite the government's stern warning, DCP now claims there is an elaborate plan by some government officials and politicians to send goons to disrupt their procession. DCP Deputy Party Leader Cleophas Malala has called on police to guarantee their safety during the event.
We are well informed, and we know that tomorrow, national security agencies will be in tow both at the airport and during the procession. As such, we want to make this clear. We are a peaceful people, and our meet and greet the Nairobi people tomorrow is as such.
Malala, who was previously accused police of targeting opposition politicians, is also calling on IPOA to ensure that anyone involved in disrupting their procession faces the full force of the law. Gachagua cut short his 2-month tour of the United States to return and participate in the upcoming by-election campaigns scheduled for November. Gatete Njoroge, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
The impeachment trial of Kericho Governor Eric Mutai will be held in plenary next week. The trial will be conducted for 3 days between the 27th and the 29th of August. A motion to have the impeachment proceedings conducted by an 11-member special committee was defeated for lack of a seconder. The motion had been moved by the Senate Majority Leader Aaron Cheruiyot. Setholale with more.
The embattled Kericho Governor Eric Mutai will have his day with the Senate plenary from Wednesday the 27th August to Friday 29th, when the senators will make a decision to uphold the County Assembly decision to oust him or save him for the second time.
The Senate shall then investigate the matter in plenary on Wednesday 27th of August 2025, Thursday 28th of August 2025, and Friday 29th.
The decision to have the trial conducted by the plenary was reached after a motion tabled by Majority Leader Aaron Cheruiyot seeking establishment of a special committee to hear and determine the impeachment trial lacked backing from the Minority Leader Stewart Madzayo.
I beg to move and request the Leader of Minority, Senator Justice Retired Stewart Madzayo, to second this motion.
Asante Mstahiki Spika. Mimi nakataa.
Further attempt to have the impeachment trial be heard and determined by the 11-member special committee failed.
If the seconder is not ready to second the motion, so the motion die there, or maybe we can initiate another motion another day.
The proposed person was the Minority Leader, who did not second the motion. The Majority Leader did not appoint any other person. It is his motion.
33 out of 47 MCAs voted to impeach the embattled governor, who survived a similar ouster in October 2024. Mutai is accused of alleged abuse of office, illegal and irregular appointments, and sacking of senior county officials. Seth Olale, Citizen TV.
Veteran gospel singer Dr. Reuben Kigame has thrown his hat into the ring for the 2027 presidential election. Kigame, who was locked out of the race in the last general election, accuses the Kenya Kwanza administration of failing to deliver on its promises and now presents himself as a credible alternative to unseat President William Ruto. Emily Chebet with his ambitions.
The second-term presidential aspirant Dr. Reuben Kigame has accused the Kenya Kwanza government under President Ruto of turning its back on the promises it made to Kenyans. Kigame, who is making a second bid for the presidency, lashed out at the regime, citing runaway corruption, abductions and blatant human rights abuses.
Fighting corruption is not a matter of statements. It's a matter of action. It's not a matter of establishing a commission fighting corruption is really deciding from today nobody is going to be corrupt. Ruto has had more than 3 years to be able to do that. He cannot be beginning now.
The veteran gospel artist, now turned politician, says the country is veering off course under the current regime. He insists that Kenya needs urgent change that, according to him, can only come from leaders with clean hands and a track record free of corruption and lawlessness.
Tunaamini kwamba ni vibaya ushuru kwenda juu. Tunaamini kwamba mambo ya afya yameporomoka. Hata kama kuna ile SHA, wale ambao wanapata services za SHA ni wachache. Sisi tunaamini elimu imeporomoka.
The aspirant decried what he termed as constant frustration by the government towards his presidential bid, but insisted that no amount of pressure will derail his plans to, in his words, rescue Kenyans from the hands of corrupt individuals.
I do not want anybody thinking that because I have visual disability, I cannot lead this country. Yes. I want to tell you I would not be the first one, because President Gus Dur of Indonesia led and he was blind. Kibaki was in a wheelchair. You've had 5 presidents who are seeing. If eyes could solve the problems of Kenya, by now they would have been solved. It's not about eyes.
Kigame says his 3-point agenda is built on dismantling the roots of corruption, fully implementing the 2010 constitution without selectivity, and empowering Kenyan citizens through economic and social justice. He argues that only tackling these pillars head-on can the country reclaim its promise and restore dignity to its people. Emily Chebet, Citizen TV.
Scores of university students are yet to receive funding from the Higher Education Loans Board a day after the government announced the disbursement of 9.46 billion shillings towards their tuition and upkeep. The students, some of whom are already in universities, say the financial aid has not yet reflected in their accounts, leaving them struggling with upkeep. With more is Brenda Wanga.
Safeway's estate, situated on the fringes of Kisii town, plays host to hundreds of Kisii University students unable to secure accommodation within the institute. Rooney Odula, a fourth-year student, has lived here his entire university life, navigating the rigors of academic life with financial difficulty and a hearing disability. Funds from government are not only crucial for his tuition and upkeep, they also ensure that he keeps his hearing aid serviced and functional. He is yet to receive his portion of the funds released by government.
I'm someone who depends on this machine. It has to be programmed, and that programming needs money. I have to buy some batteries to at least get it functional, and with that one also needs money.
Rooney, like many of his Kisii University counterparts and others from across the country, are eagerly waiting on the money disbursed on Tuesday to reflect in their accounts and ease their financial burden that threatens to disrupt their education.
And then they are telling me to visit the student finance. Nikienda student finance, they are saying that the money is not there. So I want them to be clear that kama wamelipa hii pesa tujue, because I have gone to the student finance. Wananiambia hiyo pesa ijalipwa kwa account yangu ya student.
The students say the delay in getting their funding isn't a new phenomenon. Some of them have either not fully received their full allocation or have received it very late, making their lives here difficult and forcing them to improvise to survive.
And I'm also hustler, as you can see. I'm carrying some files so that I can meet some of my basic needs. Yeah. About the issue of help, currently I don't know what is happening, but I've not received any confirmation concerning help.
The government had on Tuesday announced the release of 9.46 billion shillings to cater for tuition and upkeep funds for 309,000 university students spread across the country. Sources now say the funds for those who had applied and complied with all the requirements will have reflected by the end of the week. Those who are yet to apply for this aid are encouraged to do so expeditiously. Brenda Wanga, Citizen TV.
The government has added more fan zones across the city to enable Kenyans unable to secure CHAN tickets watch the match in real time. The announcement was made by the Sports Cabinet Secretary Salim Mvurya on Wednesday when he toured the Moi Sports Center in Kasarani. Mvurya said the government has added 5 more fan zones, bringing the number of screening zones across the country where Kenyans can watch the match to 13. The CS announced that there are plans to create additional screening sites in Mombasa and Eldoret. The national team, Harambee Stars, will play Madagascar on Friday in the quarterfinals to be held at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani.
We have increased the fan zones, which also worked very well on Sunday. Right now, we have increased the numbers. We had around 8 fan zones on Sunday. Now we will have 13, across the city and many other areas. So we will still have a fan zone in Uhuru Park, in Archives, in Dandora, in Jacaranda, Clay City, Githurai, Kibra, the DC ground. Here in Kasarani, we have the Lucky Sama on the other side of the field. But now we'll have Ruiru. Ruiru will be our new area. Then we have Dagoretti, Camp Toyoyo, and also Babadogo.
All right, as promised, we do have a conversation coming up on transforming the public service. And among those who Ayub Abdikadir and Mashi Makapombe will be engaging in the town hall are the Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, Human Capital Development and Special Programs, Honorable Geoffrey Ruku. We'll also have the Principal Secretary, Public Service and Human Capital Development, Dr. Jane Kere Imbunya. We'll also have on the panel Ben Kai Chilumo, who is the CEO, Kenya Huduma Secretariat, and Professor Nura Mohammed, Director General at the Kenya School of Government. Stay tuned. Song, dance and gratitude. Mutei Grannies celebrated after representing Kenya in a South Africa football tournament. Thank you for staying with us on JKLive. The government has vowed to pursue terrorism charges against those arrested for the malicious destruction of government and private property. Interior and National Administration Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen, responding to civil rights groups protesting the terror charges preferred on protesters arrested in June and July, said their actions amount to deliberate economic sabotage. The Cabinet Secretary made the remarks in Nyandarua while presiding over the county's Jukwaa la Usalama. The 32nd edition of the platform is set to take place in Nyeri on Thursday.
As I said before, we will act decisively. We will charge everyone. I saw some people complaining somewhere yesterday that we are charging people with charges of terrorism. If you ban a police station, you ban government cars, whether it's county or national, you ban police office, you ban somebody's supermarket, there is no other charge that we can bring before the court. The best charge at that point in time is those related to terror, because that is exactly what you are doing.
The 12th witness in the murder trial of former police officer Ahmed Rashid has once again struggled to directly link him to the fatal shooting of 2 young men in Isili on March the 31st, 2017. As you'll hear now from Franklin Wala, the witness, a Safaricom representative, told the court that phone records and location data could not place the accused at the scene of the shooting.
It was the turn of the 12th witness, one among 21 lined up by the prosecution to testify against former police officer Ahmed Rashid. On Wednesday, Daniel Hamisi, a law enforcement and a liaison officer from Safaricom, took the stand. Hamisi told the court he had analyzed call data records from 3 phone numbers linked to Rashid. While his findings could not place the former officer at 1st Avenue, 4th Street, the scene of the March 31st, 2017 fatal shooting. He confirmed the 3 SIM cards were active throughout the day and connected to masts near Isli's 10th Street.
call and SMS, there is none that captures him that he was around anywhere calling this pistol. Between those hours that I've specified.
That's the position, my
That's the position.
Yes.
That's all.
Another witness, Peter Kimanzi Mwangangi, who had worked closely with IPOA during its probe, also testified
that it was returned.
Mwangangi told the court that he took over as in charge of the Amari at Pangani police station on May 1st, 2017 from Alan Kibasho. At the time, he received 2 pistols and an AK-47 rifle that were part of the ongoing forensic investigation. These firearms were recorded in the station's registry and later handed over to DCI officers on May 8, 2017 for forensic analysis.
From that record, was he issued with 2 guns?
There was no time an officer can be issued with 2 guns at one time.
Mwangangi noted that a Seska pistol suspected to have been used in the shooting was not issued to any of the Pangani 9 officers on the day of the incident. He confirmed that Ahmed Rashid had been issued with a Jericho pistol on 31st March 2017, the day of the fatal shooting, and that he returned the same weapon to the Amari the following day. The same applied to all other officers who were with him during the operation.
The killer weapon has not been found. The gun issued to Ahmed Rashid was cleared.
The testimonies from the Safaricom officer and the Amari in charge have cast further doubt on the prosecution's case in the murder trial. On Tuesday, a ballistic expert from the DCI also failed to link any of the firearms under investigations to the fatal shooting.
So let them look for who had the Seska pistols, for them to arrest that person and charge that person for the offense of murder.
The murder trial continues with more witnesses expected to testify. However, Judge Diana Kaveza expressed concerns over the prosecution's inability to present all witnesses on schedule. The judge notably presided over the case despite the High Court being on recess and many officials on vacation, underscoring the importance of the matter at hand. Franklin Wala, Citizen TV.
Away from the courts, Uasin Gishu Grannies, who represented Kenya in the Grannies International Football Tournament in South Africa, are now honing their skills to fly the country's flag once more. The women, who held a Thanksgiving ceremony in Uasin Gishu County, recounted their journey to South Africa, which has unlocked newfound ambition that not only put them on the global map, but also worked wonders for their health. As you'll hear now from Laura Otieno, the Grannies are calling for more investment in sports with a focus on nurturing not only young talent, but also that of the elderly.
The chilly morning was pierced by songs of jubilation at Mutei Estate in Uasin Gishu County. Here, Mutei Grannies FC had a Thanksgiving ceremony 4 months after they represented Kenya at the Grannies International Football Tournament in Limpopo, South Africa. 56-year-old Gertrude Mutai was the star of the match. Having been the top scorer, she hosted the team at her home. For Gertrude, however, her prayer was not just about the victory. Boarding a plane, she says, was the highlight. Her excitement began right at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport.
Nikapitia kitu ingine yenye inaenda kama nyoka hivi. Kukanyaga inachukua wewe kama uchakanyaka kwa kikameriani. Bila wewe kukanyaga ukiwa na akili yako hapo. Miguu naenda. Sasa kwenda kuingia ndani. Naona watu wanapeana makaratasi nasema hii namba iko wapi na namba. Sasa mimi nikauliza na ndege yenyewe iko wapi? Nikaambiwa uko kwa ndege ndani. Sikujua nilikuwa kwa ndege ndani kweli.
Tukujua kama wataenda ngambo kucheza. Hata kama sisi unaona kama mimi sichempiga hata Uganda. Na watu wameenda mpaka ngambo. Yaani bila walikasema wataenda ngambo mimi nikanyamaza.
The team is currently training for the Heroes League, which starts on Saturday in Iten, and which the team will use to prepare for the upcoming tournaments in Zambia, France, and the US. the grannies now calling for increased investment in sports for both the young and the elderly.
Number 2, hatuna kiwanja. Hapa Mutei Primary School. Hapo ndio mahali grannies walianzia mpira. Na tunaomba ya kwamba kama tunaweza tengenezewa ikuje standard ya international.
Tumeweza kupata wasee team clubs 13 kwa 7 counties. Sisi tunasema saa hizi safari ya wasee ni kutembea, si kukaa nyumbani.
What started as a recreational activity to keep away the grace of old age is now morphing into a global outfit. Every kick unlocking new dreams and mountains that defy the norm, proving that old is indeed gold. Laura Otieno, Citizen TV.
Have access to hospitalization and last expense cover through a new insurance plan launched by Old Mutual in partnership with the Kenya Boda Boda Association. Working with partners like Rafiki Microfinance Bank, Old Mutual has developed the Boda Boda Riders Super Cover Insurance Plan, offering 1,000 shillings per night of hospitalization and a last expense benefit. The launch comes amid rising road safety concerns, with motorcycle users accounting for 35% of road deaths in 2023, with over 1.6 million active riders. This sector remains central to the country's economy, making the cover a significant boost to households.
To sustain, grow and protect their prosperity. That means we're interested in the prosperity of all Kenyans, including the Boda Boda sector. So the purpose of us launching this solution is to ensure that they too have access to financial services. The Boda Boda sector is huge. Not only do they provide transport to individuals, but also a lot of the growth in e-commerce in this country has actually been enabled by the Boda Boda riders, who can pick something quickly and bring to whoever wants it, be it food, be clothing, be electronics.
E-cover itasaidia watu wetu wa bodaboda kwa sababu sekta ya bodaboda tumekuwa na changamoto mingi sana. Wakati mtu wetu anaumia, inakuwa ni ngumu hata yeye kusaidika in terms of kupata ambulance, na hata akifika hospitali inakuwa kwamba hawezi tibiwa sababu hana pesa kwa mfuko ya kwanza kumtibu.
Over 700 delegates from Uganda, Kenya and across the region are set to converge for the 4th Uganda-Kenya Coastal Tourism Conference and Exhibition, aimed at strengthening cross-border collaboration in the tourism and business sectors. Kilifi Governor Gideon Mungaro says the high-level meeting will provide a unique opportunity to position the two countries as leading destinations, while also opening new avenues for investment and partnerships in the tourism industry. This year's event will be held in Malindi, Kilifi County, and will also include the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the government of Uganda and the government of Kenya.
Over 100 Kenyan tourism stakeholders to Uganda, and we have brought in over 300 Ugandans to the Kenya coast. And the intention has been for them to experience and know these products, so that they sell these products from a point of knowledge and experience, not using Google. We have what we call the Google operators, those who go on the internet and begin working out an itinerary without knowing where Malindi is, where Windy is, and then they just go on the internet and work out a full itinerary.
This conference reflects our commitment to fostering collaboration between Kenya and Uganda travel sectors. By bringing travel agents together, tour operators, hoteliers and government representatives from both nations, the event has enabled the co-creation of innovative travel products.
Uganda and Kenya share more than borders. We share deep cultural, historical and economic ties. Together we can position East Africa as a world-class travel destination, where Kenya's sparkling coastlines blend seamlessly with Uganda's majestic landscapes and vibrant cultures.
Small-scale farmers in Kiambu are embracing a blend of greenhouse farming and mulching as a way to cut costs, save water, and improve crop yields. One such farmer in this county says the approach has transformed her work and income. On this week's Smart Farm, our reporter Dennis Otieno takes us to that farm to see how this integration is working and why agripreneurs believe it could be a game changer.
The morning in rural Kiambu is cool and overcast, with little warmth reaching the open fields where crops struggle. But inside Monica Thairo's wooden greenhouse, rows of vibrant capsicum stretch neatly along nylon mulched lined beds.
Nzuri ni ukulima hauna na stress nyingi. Ukishapea maji asubuhi unapea jioni. Kazi ya greenhouse inaweka maji, ukipatia maji asubuhi inaweka na kitu na mimea inakuwa sawa. Imenisaidia kwa sababu hakuna wadudu wanakuja kwa greenhouse. Iko poa kabisa. Kwa sababu maji ukipatia tu inaweka hapo. Haiendi pahali. Na inakuwa greenhouse inakuwa smart.
Monica started using the combination of greenhouse farming and mulching just last month. A decision, she says, was driven by the need to save water and protect her crops from pests. The mulch traps moisture in the soil, meaning she only needs to water twice a day.
Imenisaidia sana kwa sababu mimi nafanyanga tu vitu vingine na huko nje. Sasa hapa nakuja tu naangalia napatia maji then inaenda. Imereduce cost. Hata maji imereduce. Kwa sababu ukifungulia kidogo asubuhi na jioni.
The use of greenhouse and mulching film are being spearheaded by AgriPlant Kenya, a farm supporting small-scale growers in making climate-smart farming technologies.
There was need for a way, rather method of using very minimal water, that is saving on water, saving on labor in terms of weeding, and also in terms of controlling pests and diseases. So we saw a need to introduce controlled environment, rather greenhouse farming, and going further on, using mulching as a technology to complement, the farming process.
Founder Derek Mugodo says the approach uses locally available materials to keep costs down while extending the lifespan of the structures.
The reason as to why we are using this nylon mulching is because of it's very long lasting, and you see you are conserving up to 60% of the water. So you see it's really saving on water. And also it's helping us also to control some of the pests, because you see it's now covering the area around the crop. So just that one farmer is able to maintain this greenhouse effortlessly.
Before installing the greenhouse, Monica farmed entirely in the open field, a method that left her exposed to unpredictable weather, pests, and high labor costs. Now, she says she does most of the work herself without hiring extra hands, and the savings are significant.
Greenhouse farming and mulching are among many agroecological techniques widely practiced in several counties across the country. All this alongside crop rotation, composting, agroforestry, and water recycling.
In Monica's case, the focus is on high-value crops like capsicum. She says the quality from her greenhouse meets market standards and is already attracting buyers even before harvest.
Nipendezwa kwa hoho kwa sababu iko na nini? Quality yao hata pahali naweza kuzipeleka iko na market. Iko na market sana.
We have helped her save much in terms of maintenance. So just a rough estimate. I realized she was using around 4,000 on weeding, but you see right now she's the one who is doing that. So in the long run, she's saving the maintenance costs, and also in terms of inputs when it comes to controlling the pest.
Back in Kiambu, Monica says she's already planning to expand her greenhouse space. For her, the blend of greenhouse farming and mulching isn't just a new method, it's a new way of life. Dennis Otieno, Smart Farm.
Business News, brought to you by Definite.
National Schools football champions St. Joseph Kitale, also known as Jobo, have qualified for the semi-finals of the East Africa School Games after beating Agai Secondary School from Nyanza 3-1 in their last pool match today at the Buhungu Stadium in Kakamega County. Jobo were quick to settle and scored the opening goal in the 33rd minute through dangerman Instin Simiu, but Agai did not panic and drew level on the stroke of halftime through Rogers Onyango for a 1-1 score at halftime. 2 minutes into the second half, Jobo took the lead once again through Jabal Lugendi. Instin Simiu again found the back of the net in the second half to seal the win for Jobo. Jobo will take on Musingu in an all-Kenyan semi-final, while Agai has been eliminated from the competition. Staying with the East Africa School Games, Musingu High School Scorpions sealed their place in the semi-finals after coming from a goal down to wallop Rwanda's Kichukiro Secondary 3-1 in their final group match. Kichukiro struck first in the first minute, but Musingu hit back through goals from Harrison Amalemba, David Manani and Marvin Ashihundu. Kenya has 3 teams in the semi-finals after Butere Boys, who drew 1-1 with Uganda's Amos College, made it to the last 4 and will battle Uganda's Bukende Secondary. Football teams from the Pumwani and California wards in Kamukunji constituency have every reason to smile after getting a new artificial pitch in California Estate, popularly known as Desa, because of the bare maram surface. The field is now a joy for the teams as it can now be used in all weather conditions. Lack of proper playing fields in the city forced the area member of County Assembly, Hashim Kamau, to embark on the rehabilitation of the pitch for the benefit of the many teams and schools in the area. Other than the surface that was poor, the field also had no drainage and was always flooded during the rainy season. The pitch in the heart of the California Estate has recognized all the football and music legends from the California Estate, with stands named after coach Rishadi Shedu, Salim Ahmed, Jua Kali, Nonini and Malo Malo. Teams from California and Pumwani ward use the pitch for training and tournaments that can be played at night.
Muhimu, viwanja mingi zinaharibika kukosa drainage. So hii ilibidi tumeiraise kwa sababu pale mbele kuna barabara, na hii barabara mara mingi tunapata shida ya drainage, sewer and all that. So tulimwambia contractor, make sure umeraise, make sure umetumia pipes kubwa wakati ya drainage, ndio ile maji ya sewer isipate kuingia katika kiwanja. Before maji ilikuwa inaingia sana ground, tunashindwa kucheza and all that.
Sports News, brought to you by... Back your favorite team as